much for joining me today. My name is Lori Hockman, and I am the Marketing Coordinator at Auctria. My goal is to help fundraising groups make the most out of the auction fundraiser. And this webinar is a part of an ongoing series with exclusive content from Auctria, so please be on the lookout for additional topics. In the chat box, I'd love to know A, where you guys are chiming in from, and B, whether you're doing a live and silent auction or an online only auction. I'm always curious to know who is listening in on the webinar and where you guys are coming from, because it helps us move forward in providing content ongoing. And it also helps the other people that are on the line chatting with us to provide some interesting information. Live and silent, 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 BC, Canada, live and silent, in-person silent, live and silent, live and silent. Lots of live and silence. Beth Finney, Art Center, live and silent, live and silent. Online pre-auction, live and silent. Smart in Portland, Maine. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Live and silent. Online pre-auction as well. All right, Jessica, you're a smart one. We're going to go over a whole bunch of stuff on how you can make some more money for your auction fundraiser. I know you guys do all the work for this auction fundraiser, but are you really maximizing the event? Do you ever ask yourself, can we make more money for the same effort? I'm telling you, the answer is yes, and I'm here to answer that question and give you a couple ideas that hopefully you can integrate into your live, silent, and online auctions to maximize that effort and that potential. So, sorry about that. If for some reason the slides aren't moving, just give me a holler down in the chat box. I do see a note, will this be available afterwards? I cannot hear anything. I'm not sure why you can't hear anything. But yes, the webinar will be available afterwards for playback, the entire slide deck, as well as the resources. So for some housekeeping, I'd like to hold all questions as we travel through the slides. However, feel free to drop any questions you have or comments into the chat box in the lower right-hand corner there. At the conclusion, we'll do a quick Q&A and I can review the questions. Yes, the slides and links and resources will be available on the pop-up screen page immediately after the webinar concludes. So save that page you're redirected to. Here is what we'll be covering today. How to increase the bottom line by filling seats at the event, tips for marketing the event and using social media, using raffles for additional income streams, sponsorships to help fund the event-based activities. Fund and need is a fun way to apply a little bit of peer pressure that gets results. We'll also share some best practices for post-auction to drive engagement and long-term support from donors, bidders, and volunteers. After the webinar, stay in touch with us on Facebook and Twitter. You can always email us hello@auctria.com. and in-app messaging. So just a little quickie about Auctria. Founded in 2011 as charity auction organizer, we updated our name and logo to Auctria in 2016. Like many awesome tools, the program was designed out of need. We too were tired of paper bid sheets, unorganized tracking, long, cumbersome checkouts. There has to be a better way. So our founder brilliantly developed Auctria from the ground up, taking into account the entire process of running an auction fundraiser, from the first donation to the last receipt and all the bidding in between. For some background, there have been 21,000 auctions that have run through Auctria. About a third of them are school-based, and the rest of them are animal lovers, arts and culture, humanity, disease, wellness champs. There's been 1.6 million bidders that have come through Auctria. That's equivalent to the population of the entire city of Philadelphia. There's been 1.4 million items, 2.3 million bids, and Auctria has helped groups raise over $100 million. Still, every day is new, and we are always appreciative of feedback. Through the years, feedback has guided us in adding or improving features such as ticketing, table seating, sharing buttons. Our newest feature rolling out is our mobile app, so stay tuned for those details. So remember that line from the movie Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come? Oh, if only it was that simple for special events. This advice comes to us from outside the Auctria universe, and it comes from AJ Steinberg of Queen Bee Fundraising. Her best advice is when pricing the auction fundraiser or gala or party ticket, first set a realistic ticket price. Carefully consider what your supporters and target audience can afford. Analyze what you are offering them. If your chicken dinner costs $35 per head, you should resist the urge to charge 10 times that ticket price. Overcharging is a real turnoff for event goers. General rule of thumb is that ticket prices should cover the hard costs of producing your event. It's a good idea to offer VIP tickets and sponsorship packages for those supporters and companies that would like to support you at a higher level. These premium price tables should have an upgraded wine, or consider giving each of these special guests a lovely gift at their seat, hopefully donated by a sponsor. So you can also fill the seats by honoring an influencer. Whether they are wealthy donors or strong champions of your organization's mission, saluting a person or corporation can significantly increase the invitee list and ticket sales. An honoree should be chosen because they have a meaningful relationship or connection with an organization. The best honorees have these qualities. They're financially well off. They have friends and colleagues who are financially well off and generous. They are popular, and there are social and business groups who want to attend to celebrate their being honored. It's best to honor someone who has not been honored before by other organizations. A person who has been previously honored has already used his resources to bring sponsorships and sell tickets for prior events. It's best to honor one person or two at most in order to make the award more meaningful. The more meaningful it is, the more effort the honoree will put into helping to make the event a success. Let's talk about who should not be honored. Politicians. Part of their career path is raising funds for their own cause. Their friends and colleagues have already given and given and given on their behalf. Even if they get folks to buy tickets to see them honored, those guests donate almost nothing at the event. Founders of other organizations should not be honored either. Although they're great people, they are busy raising funds for their own organization, so they won't necessarily be encouraging any of their friends and colleagues to donate money to yours. Auctions that are themed can be money magnets. Fact, people that are having fun spend more time and more money at auction fundraisers. I'd like to give a shout out here to Stephen Kilbreth Auction and Events for sharing these photos of his themed auction fundraisers that he's been a part of. Themed auction raises the interest level and turns what could be a boring fundraiser event into a fun fundraising event. Be strategic and don't go overboard though. Invest just enough to raise a buzz, but not too much to cut into the total dividends. Match the digital branding with the theme to attract attention, to show commitment to the theme, and forecast the future fun that'll be had at the event. You can see from the photos, anything can be a theme. Trendy, retro, vintage. Here's a list if you want to jot down your faves. I'm going to shoot them out at you. Under the Big Top, Carnival, 80s, 70s, 90s, tailgate, sports, rock and roll, Monopoly, masquerade, country night, Oscar night, red carpet night, Hawaiian, logo, poker, superheroes, Hogwarts, casino, under the sea, winter wonderland. The list goes on and on. Special thanks from one of our favorite auctioneers, Stephen Kilbreth. Like I said, the photos are here, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a link to see his entire gallery so you can be inspired. So let's talk communication tactics. These are tried and true marketing best practices for raising awareness of the cause, and more importantly to us right now, the auction fundraiser. Remember, the goal is the more bidders you get, the higher the bids will go. It's just a natural fact. So you want to promote, and then promote some more. Early promotion not only builds awareness, additionally it helps the procurement team because donors know that their goodwill donations will receive exposure. Brand the auction. Here you'll see a colorful logo for Bids for Kids. This is an auction fundraiser for an elementary school. Give your auction a great name and a logo to give the auction fundraiser a life of its own. Use the name, logo, and colors across all aspects of the auction fundraiser promotions. Branding the auction now will reap benefits year after year after year. So that logo there, the Bids for Kids logo, was implemented for this school after the first event, and now Bids for Kids is a household name in the entire general community. No kidding. New kindergarten families, before school even starts, ask when the Bids for Kids event is planned for the upcoming school year. When the procurement team goes into local businesses to ask for donations, they even recognize the Bids for Kids logo. A dedicated website that is up and running in advance is mandatory for success. Use catchy phrases on the website. Use recognizable images for the charity or the group or recognizable logo. Include photos and videos. Use images from the last auction fundraiser and images of the upcoming event, such as pictures of items that are up for bid, food choices, maybe even do a venue sneak peek. Show and tell. Where is the money going? Answer the question, what's in it for me as a bidder? Not only will they be helping the cause, but be specific about how the funds raised will be spent. Show and tell how the money raised will feed the poor, purchase the computers for the students, provide shelter, support the arts. Show and tell the story in the process of promoting the auction. Tying the two together is impactful and memorable. Always include a call to action, whether you want people to buy tickets now or pre-register or upgrade to a VIP table. Early promotion goes hand in hand with early bird pricing. A multi-tier admission pricing encourages early sales and bidder pre-registration. I think I saw a couple of you guys said that you use pre-registration. Calculate the actual overhead expenses and discount accordingly for early bird pricing. Remember to include this is so important. Remember to include the date, time, and details of the fundraising event on each piece of material that you put out. I know that you guys that are hanging out on this webinar think that everybody knows when the event is. I mean, you've been talking about it for months, right? Nope. Let me tell you. People, they remember the event, but they need the details each and every time. You're better off over-communicating than you are under-communicating. So Marketing 101 basics are applicable to the fundraiser. Let's apply them accordingly. On printed materials such as emails and flyers, the key is to get the audience to open the email or read the flyer. The purpose is to grab the attention and get the reader to take action. Use catchy phrases. Honestly, the corny, funny, emotional elicit a reaction that causes action. I cannot stress enough the impact of a dedicated website brings, which of course is included in your Auctria license. The website establishes credibility to the event and gives the auction a place to live online with 24-hour access to information, registration, and ticket sales. Use the logo and theme and colors throughout all the printed materials and the digital materials. You know, you can swap out your website colors and match everything up. For emails, emojis aren't just for the kids anymore, and they aren't just for texting. Include them in the email subject line and the preview. Statistically higher, it shows that emojis used in email subject lines get click-throughs and trigger people to open the emails. So where do your stakeholders hang out socially online? Do they use Facebook or Twitter or Instagram? Spend your time on those platforms. Don't waste your time where they're not. Establish a social media presence early. Add a save the date to the banners for your social media account, or make a pinned post for the auction fundraiser so the information isn't lost in the fast-moving world of social feeds. Work efficiently for your social media. Optimize your time by scheduling posts in advance. You can practically schedule out the entire event's social media plans in one sitting. If you're using Facebook only, you can do so natively on the Facebook app. If you're posting to multiple feeds, you can use a tool like Hootsuite or Buffer. Social media platform algorithms like photos, and they love videos and GIFs. GIFs or GIFs, however you guys want to call it. My kid calls it one, I call it something else. Include these to increase visibility and hopefully engagement. A few ideas for photos and videos. Like I said before, sneak peeks of the venue, snapshots of the food that'll be on the menu, auction items that can visually show the auction story. Are you auctioning off a vacation package? Post lots of photos of the destination and the hotel. Using hashtags is really important too. Use both common ones that are used regularly, things like Wednesday Wisdom, Thankful Thursday. Use a hashtag that is something unique to the group or the event, like the image that I had before, Bids for Kids. They do hashtag Bids for Kids all the time. So a signature hashtag like that, when clicked, shows all the posts that are related and continue to put similar content in front of the viewer. Sometimes you just got to call in the pros, though. Social media is an entire industry into itself, with lots of nuance and fast-moving parts. Our favorite go-to expert is that Firefly guy. He's based in Atlanta, and Barton Wood is one of the nicest and most helpful people we've bumped into. He offers all of the Auctria friends a free social media assessment and can help with all things social media. He says that he's constantly asked by clients, is there really a need for social media if we have a website? The answer is yes. Sometimes it's hard to justify the time and effort needed to create content, but it's a tool that is absolutely necessary in order to market your event. Some of the questions he'll help you answer is how and when to schedule posts, create effective posts. He can go over the analytics of what you've done in the past and help you make some good decisions going forward. The more you know, the better you can prepare an online strategy to boost your social effectiveness and make more money for the cause. So here's a little quickie on how to add video carousel to Facebook. Like I said, the social algorithm, the algorithms on social media love video. So here's a quickie on how to do one on Facebook easily, in-app, natively. Videos. It's pretty simple. You want to go ahead and go to the area where you create a new post, click on photo video, and I'm going to scroll down here when I hit click on that to create slideshow. It'll bring up a screen that looks like this. First of all, I want the images to be about 3 seconds in duration. Then I'm going to add some photos, and I have a bunch on my computer that would be appropriate for an auction fundraiser. I'm going to select all of them and hit open. And this will scroll and spin through till the photos load into the bottom deck there. And then you'll see them loading up. And then I can decide, these aren't in the correct order. So I can just simply click and drag the photos into an order that I like. I'm going to move this one over also.
move the food to the front. And then I'm going to choose some music that I like. There's a bunch of music on Facebook, so you can just mess around with one that you think would be appropriate. I like to go to the fun section, and there's some really jazzy tunes that you can add that make the carousel and the video exciting. So punch the click create slideshow, and you'll see that it'll create the post. Now you can add some details. I'm going to put in here, come visit our auction website to see all the details, www. and then your auction website. Go ahead at this point and you can either publish the post right now, or what I'd like to do is schedule everything out in advance. I'm going to make this one for Saturday the 5th. And hit the schedule button. And you're done.
So Raffles can be a prolific fundraising tool that can take the auction event to new heights. In general, raffles are, as you know, a game of chance. Number of tickets are sold, one or several tickets are drawn randomly, and the holder of the winning tickets takes possession of the prize. A friendly reminder here, though, know the regulations, because raffles are considered games of chance and they may be regulated. So check your local authorities as well as your charity bylaws. Raffles can increase the bottom line. Some people just love raffles and will peel off cash on any day to get in on the action. When selling tickets, do so at a single ticket rate and a multi-ticket rate. It's funny how you ask for $5, they'll give you $5, but if you ask for $20, they'll also give you $20. So encourage greater giving with ticket packages. So do $5 for one ticket and $20 for $5. Consider your audience's past spending events to determine the starting price and the increments for your raffles. How to determine which item to raffle versus offer at auction. This can also be a significant money booster. There's a little more art than science, but there is some math, so look at your past bid history if you have it. Raffles can be used to boost the income for a popular auction item that may sell at a maximum face value. For example, the local amusement park has donated 4 tickets for a value of $200. In the past auctions, the sale maxed out at $200, which is face value. Maybe you'll get a couple dollars extra. Using a raffle scenario, tickets can be sold at a smaller increments, but in an infinite quantity. At the end of the event, the $200 amusement tickets can net much more than $200 simply by offering it at raffle. Think, if the raffle ticket is $5 each, can you sell more than 40 tickets? If the answer is yes, convert that auction item to a raffle item. True story here. A local group always received Disney tickets. Actually, I don't think Disney donates anymore. They want you to put in volunteer hours or something like that. It's the first auction item to get action and reach full retail value for many years, so it never went for over $250. This group decided to shift that item to a raffle, and boom, the income on just that one item exploded to 5 times the amount just by that shift. Lots of types of raffles exist besides a traditional raffle where you sell your tickets, pull a number, win a prize. There's 50-50 cash raffles. Those are super easy to administer at auction or any large gathering of generous supporters. Sell tickets at a given time, choose one randomly, 50% of the cash proceeds go to the winner and the remaining 50% of the benefits go to the charity. Many times the winner will even donate the cash back. Heads or tails. This is an experience type raffle and an interactive way to engage the group. So you need an MC that can energize the audience for a heads or tails raffle. Heads or tails tend to have a higher price point, like $25, $50, $100. You mark the participants that are participating with a small little gift or a wristband or a necklace. The MC announces the beginning of the heads or tails raffle, and participants stand with their hands literally on their head or on their tail. A coin is flipped, and those that match the coin remain standing and move on to the next round. The remainder, those that lose, sit down. This continues until there's one winner standing, and that person wins the prize. It's a little silly, but it's really a lot of fun, and it brings out a lot of laughter and some good money for a good cause. Wine pull or blind wine. Let's face it, alcohol and auctions pair nicely. Every wine ticket is a winner. Some are more of a winner than others. Here's the setup. Purchase and set up wine bottles. Completely cover the bottles. Purchase most of the wine bottles at a set margin lower than the wine raffle ticket price. Choose a few bottles with a higher value, and that increases the excitement and the sales for the wine. Each ticket holder selects a covered wine bottle to enjoy. Each is a winner, but a few special bottles encourage participation, and the chance to win a greater prize energizes the raffle. Here's an insider tip. Check with your local wine store regarding their return policy. Most will allow unopened wine bottles to be brought back for a full refund after the event. Thus, the wine raffle can be arranged with little risk. Mystery boxes are very popular right now, and they pair nicely with a raffle. The mystery phenomenon is always intriguing. Use donations to make a mystery box raffle and seal it up really pretty in a nicely decorated box. Only until after the raffle winner is chosen, the mystery can be revealed. If you came to our past webinar, you'll know that Auctria's Pinterest boards are full of helpful links. I have an entire board dedicated just to raffles to help inspire. Okay, let's talk sponsorships here. Sponsorships can greatly increase the overall revenue and exposure and cover large fixed costs. Sell sponsorships to cover segments of the auction event like valet parking or a dessert table. If you're doing a golf tournament, one of the holes. The goal is to have the individual item item sponsor cover what they, the goal is to have the individual item sponsor and cover the cost of what they're sponsoring. So if your valet service costs $2,000, that's the minimum you should set as your valet sponsorship goal. Sponsorship levels should be varied with multiple price points though, something along the lines of gold, silver, bronze, or something fun that matches the event. Aim high when you're talking to people about sponsorship. While we know even a few $100s can make a huge impact on a charitable organization, many large corporations you are soliciting, this isn't even a rounding error. So go ahead and ask for $300 or $3,000. Always ask for your top-level sponsorship from these organizations. The worst they can do is say no, but most likely they'll just pick a lower-level sponsorship. Sponsorship recognition is vital. So once you've closed that sponsorship opportunity, make sure you return and deliver on what you've promised. The goal is to have year-over-year sponsorships. Build long-term relationships with the sponsors. The stronger the relationship, the more likely you'll be able to convince the sponsor to move up a level the following year. Remember to thank them and circle back and tell them the success story of the fundraising event and how the funds will help the cause. Okay, where do you fund the sponsors? Always start with who you know. If they're not in a position to sponsor, perhaps their employer is, or they're friends with local business owners. If you're still stuck, check out another one of our Auctria partners, mbopp.com, where you can post your sponsorship availability. Here's what it looks like. On MBOP, it's a free resource tool where you can list your auction sponsorship opportunities, found on the web at mbopp.com. You register your email and you add the listing and an image, and you now have the sponsorship visible to anybody. You then control the conversation and transaction directly with the vendor. It costs nothing but a few minutes of your time. Fund a need. Some people call it paddle raise, some people call it a donation from the heart, is a plea for straight up cash. If the auction agenda does not include a paddle raise, then you're probably leaving some funds on the table. The paddle raise is typically initiated about halfway through the event. The MC announces what project the paddle raise will fund and take the opportunity here to really tell the story. Show photos or videos. Make an emotional connection with the audience. Then announce, please raise your paddles to donate X amount of dollars. Start with the highest figure you think you can get at least one paddle to raise for. Then incrementally lower the donation amount and hopefully raise more paddles. Spotters will be needed to track the process. These work because attendees are there to support the cause. Most people walk into an auction thinking, okay, I've got X dollars that I'm willing to spend tonight. But if they aren't the winning bidder on an auction item, they're still willing to donate that money, but you have to be the one to ask. And a bid from the heart is a perfect opportunity. Some groups run a give from the heart throughout the entire event at a flat price and include a special or unique trinket. It becomes a prestige thing. I've got to have a sparkly beaded necklace or a light up bracelet or a t-shirt because I gave. It's amazing what implied value can be placed on something so small and how subtle peer pressure can be an effective tool in an event fundraiser. Of course, this is all super easy to track a paddle raise in the Auctria program, and checkout rolls it all up for final payments. Okay, let's talk auction boosters. Whether you're running an online auction only, or I think a bunch of you were running silent and live auctions, each can benefit from a few Auctria features. For an in-person event, there are a few boosters that you can use before the event takes place. Prior to the in-person event, promote the event online with an exclusive website. Do all the ticketing for the event through Auctria website and pre-register those bidders. This removes the bottleneck at the door for registrations. You can even accept pre-bidding. Pre-bidding is a favorite auction booster, and it's used primarily for the silent auction items. With online pre-bidding, the initial bidding happens on Auctria, but then before the actual event, online bidding is closed. The item, the highest online bid becomes the starting bid at the auction itself. If it goes up, great. If not, you still had action on the item. Think of pre-bidding as an appetizer to the event. Ticket sales for individual seats or full tables. Upsell before the event for VIP tables. Use a different color tablecloth for the VIP tables. And like I said, include a special dessert or a bottle of wine. People love VIP anything and will spend money before the event even starts. Encourage the early bird pricing on event tickets. Pre-sell raffle tickets, pre-sell drink tickets. It's an interesting phenomenon that if you break up the expenditures, the bidder will lump the expenditures separately in their mind. So they'll have spent money ahead of the event online, and then they'll be willing to spend again at the event. For online auctions, the best kept secrets are proxy bidding and anti-sniping. You can really skyrocket an online auction with these two features. Going online can expand the bidder pool. Auction fundraising depends upon bids, and bids depend upon bidders. The greater the number of bidders, the more bidding will take place. Sounds natural, right? So how do we expand the bidding pool? By going online with the auction. Online auctions are similar to traditional auctions. There's a start time, an end time, and all the bidding takes place in between, but everything else is web-based. Online auctions extend both the time and reach for bidders. The online auction naturally lends itself to online marketing with a direct feed to bidding. The window of opportunity for bidding for an online auction tends to be longer than an event-based function. Extending bidding time boosts overall bidding. Our favorite online accelerators, like I said, are Proxy Bidding and Anti-sniping. They not only make the auction fund last longer, but increase the bottom line for final bids. Here's some more details on anti-sniping. Have you ever been running an online auction or shopping for shoes on eBay, and as the bidding is closing, there's a surge in activity? The winner is the one that got that very last bid in at the instant before the auction closes. The winning bidder is super happy, but as the auction organizer or admin, how much higher could the bids have gone? We at Auctria call those bidders snipers, and we have the answer with an anti-sniping feature. No, we didn't invent anti-sniping, but we did perfect it for auction fundraising. Use anti-sniping to capitalize on the nature of the online auctions. When using anti-sniping, if a bid is placed within a set time right before the auction item closes, it triggers the auction bidding window to lengthen, stay open longer, for that particular item for an extended period of time. This continues if the additional bids are placed or if closes if no bids come in. So here's a couple of real-life scenarios that illustrate this situation. In the purple image there, you'll see a last-minute bid comes in 5 minutes before the auction closes. Instead of the auction item closing at the top of the hour, the time to bid is extended, allowing more bids to follow. True story here. School was auctioning off NHL hockey tickets paired with a Zamboni ride. It's a pretty unique experience, and it was special. Had the item had a hard close and no anti-sniping, the closing bid would have been $220. Because the anti-sniping feature was selected, the bidding for this item was extended for an additional 10 minutes each time. A higher bid was placed within 5 minutes of the end, and the final bid for this was actually $280, yielding an additional $60. We've seen the same success with graduation seats, earning an extra $50 to $100. Orthodontic braces actually earned an extra $300, all by using anti-sniping. You can set up anti-sniping rules on Auctria with just a few clicks under the website tab, and the admin can specify the anti-sniping trigger window, the anti-sniping extension. If you're running an online auction, add this to your to-do list right now. Online auction proxy bidding. Here too, we didn't invent proxy bidding, we did perfect it for the online fundraisers. A more descriptive term for proxy bidding might be automatic bidding. Proxy bidding accelerates the bids, so you get more bids that go higher faster. So let's get on the same page with a little bit of terminology. Proxy amount. This is the amount that you, as the bidder, are willing to bid on an auction item, and this information remains completely confidential. A proxy bid is in accordance with the bid increments. Small bids are placed on your behalf to the maximum proxy amount specified, and the notifications are triggered if the maximum proxy amount has been exceeded or if you win the event. So when using proxy bidding, after a bidder is registered, he or she can place a proxy bid for the set maximum amount that they want and allow the system to auto bid on their behalf. Why do you want to offer proxy bidding for your online auctions? Because bidders do not want to have to babysit their bidding. When offer proxy bidding, the auction fundraisers have found that items do go for a higher value. Why would a bidder use proxy bidding? If you find an auction item that you really want to win, the bidding starts and you have a pretty good idea that the bidding's going to escalate and it's going to go back and forth. In a traditional scenario, you would wait to get outbid, then place the next highest bid, and this goes round and round and round a couple times until the auction ends. Proxy bidding is much more efficient. The bidder can place the proxy bid privately of what they're willing to pay and let the system re-up the bid as much as necessary. If the final bid goes above what their proxy is, they can increase their proxy bid if they want. If you're running an online auction, add this to your to-do list right now too. Okay, post-auction is another opportunity to make more money for the auction. After distributing all the auction items and reporting and the auction proceeds, do a few or all of these to continue the goodwill, engagement, and increase the fundraising efforts. Ask for matching gifts. I don't think this is necessarily going to pertain to those in Canada, but in the US. Once a donor makes a contribution at a charity auction and a donation page, they can submit paperwork to their employer's HR department. If the donation and your nonprofit are eligible for matching gifts, your organization will receive a check from your donor's employer. I know locally, where I am in South Florida, Wells Fargo does matching gifts. They're a huge employer for our area, so we know that anybody that's employed by Wells Fargo, we encourage them to send in their information to have their gift match. Most matching gift programs will double an employee's charitable contribution, but some of them are super generous and match a 3-to-1, tripling the original donation. The biggest reason many donors don't submit matching gift requests is that they simply don't know that such programs exist. Therefore, after your auction ends, make sure you properly promote and remind people to check for their matching gifts. Engage donors and inspire some bigger giving after the event. If you want money coming in consistently through the year, you need big, loyal donor base to people who love your mission and want to see you win. Bidders are prime targets to become part of the loyal donor base. In practical terms, stay in touch with these people after the event an auction closes. Share all the good work your organization is doing as the result of their generous contribution. The absolute easiest way to have a good reason to connect with these people is to tell a heart-grabbing story. Bidders can easily be converted into volunteers. They make great volunteers too. Even before the auction ends, thank your current volunteers. If the auction has a party or gala, identify the volunteers in a simple or special way. List the volunteers on a poster or in the bid book. Ask them to stand during part of the presentation. Hand them a flower upon leaving. Get creative. Happy volunteers will come back and help again, and a lot of times they'll bring a friend. Post-event analysis. Do a post-event analysis on what went right and what can be improved. Take a look at all aspects of the auction from procurement to marketing to event wrap-up. Are there any efficiencies to be gained? Build on the foundations of the prior auction success. Like I gave you the example, the Bids for Kids ladies. They shifted a couple of their auction items from silent auction to raffle, and they scored with a couple $100 on each of those. Sometimes it's hard to hear feedback, but for the most part, people that do give feedback do so with facts and can help improve the next fundraiser. So here's a quickie of the links that I'll be posting that you'll have access to that are all related back to the slides. No need to jot them down, but when the webinar closes, favorite the web page that pops up for safekeeping, because that's where you'll be able to access all these. So I want to thank you for joining me, and follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Like I said, we have a lot of pins on Pinterest. There's actually over 500 pins on there of businesses that donate directly to auctions. And then there's a whole bunch of other tips and raffles and things like that. We post daily. If you want, people ask us all the time, can you share our auction? Can you share our auction? Of course we can. If you want us to share your auction, tag us at Auctria, and we will reshare, retweet, post anything that you guys send in. We love supporting our groups because of all the great work that you do. Remember that pictures and videos make all the posts more appealing, so include those too. So go ahead and I'm going to take a look at the chat box and cue back in and see what's going on. Will this be available afterwards? Yes, yes, yes. Webinar playback. Yes, yes. Just a quick note. Oh, hi, Barton. See, I told you he's the nicest guy. Just a quick note. Facebook also makes it easy to collect donations for organizations. That's such a great point. Thank you for sharing that. Question for Lori. What is the best way to sell paperless event tickets at public functions? Thanks. Is that Mila? Mila, drop me a line on hello@auctria.com and I'll give you a really long answer with a lot of links for that. But with the new Auctria app, and you can find that on Android and on iPhone, it's a lot easier to access the Auctria information. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it for public functions is to use kind of a kiosk mode or a laptop or an iPad type thing if you want to sell the tickets right then and there face to face. I guess you're talking about people that show up at the door. I hope that's what you're getting at, and I'll send you some detailed information. Where can I find that Facebook video to highlight our auction? I'll send that in the links also. I made that video directly from a screencast, so I created it. It's our information and content that I'll be happy to share, and I think that came from Brad. Looks like there's another note coming in from Mary. For heads and tails, we limit the number sold to 5 per person. Is there a way on pre-bidding to set a limit on raffle items? Yes, there is. Mary, go ahead and drop me an email again, hello@auctria.com, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. Thanks. I see another couple emails coming in. Can I get a table layout of the database? Can I get, I'm sorry, I'm not understanding that question. Can you rephrase that, David? Can I get a table layout of the database? A couple other notes are coming in here. David Wilson typing, so I'm going to go ahead and wait for that to pop up before I terminate the webinar. And that, like I said, that'll go to our final page where everything will be listed. This particular webinar will be repeated on Friday, February 1st. If you have any friends in your auction team that you want them to listen in and see if they gain anything different, go ahead and let them know. Another question. For live auction paddles, what's the easiest way of linking bidders up with the paddle numbers? Would there be an option to add that at check-in? Okay, so the easiest way that I found to do it is when the person checks in, you give them their bidder number, and then their bidder number is physically on their paddle, whether it be, you know what we did, to be honest with you? We went over to Home Depot and they gave us paint stir sticks, and then we printed out on some heavy cardstock numbers onto stickers, put them on, and we used them years and years and years over and over. We had some creative people on our team one year, and they cut out some hands for each shape. We laminated them and keep them year after year. So for the raise the paddle, you can use their bidder number, and that's why I said you need a spotter. They can mark down, okay, you know, they raised their paddle for $50, they raised their paddle for $150. Jot it down, and the person that will be on the computer can punch in their information as to what they offered as a raise the paddle. Do you recommend pre-selling raffle tickets, etc., on the sales ticket page of the auction website? I totally recommend selling pre-selling raffle tickets. Like I said, I think people mentally, okay, I'm spending money before the event, and it's, you know, $30, $50, $100 for a ticket, and then another $50 for raffles, and they mentally block it off. Then when they come to the event, they kind of come at a zero sum and spend money again. So any opportunity you can have to split that is good. And pre-selling your raffle tickets is a great option for people that can't attend the event but they want to buy a raffle ticket. You know, sometimes you'll ask people, oh, can you come? Oh, I'm busy, can't get a babysitter, can't get this, can't get that. And I say to them, oh, well, perhaps you'd like to support us through a raffle ticket. It's available on the website. That's another way. I would like to see a list of the columns associated with each database, i.e. bidders, donors, etc. Oh, okay. David, like I said, it's so much easier to do these one-offs. Email at me, hello@auctria.com. And on the reports page, you can drag and drop in and out of reports columns that you want, so that you can have custom reports that you can report back to your team, or just have for your registration or things along those lines. It looks like you dropped another note. Let me put it another way. How can I get the kind of information that a database administrator would need? That would be on the admin side from Auctria. David, are you currently an Auctria user, or are you just joining the team? Because once you're an admin, you have access. Oh, okay, I'm a user. There's also different levels of users and an admin. Okay, there's also different levels, and depending on who set up the Auctria license in the first place, there's power user and admin and super power user. So depending on the level of access, that's what the admin can and cannot have access to. So maybe that's, you have full admin access. Okay, perfect. So you'll be able to run the standardized reports, but if you don't like them, that's okay. You can drag and drop columns into those reports. Like I said, drop me an email, hello@auctria.com, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. That's one of the features that's been set up for years and years and years on Auctria, which was Charity Auction Organizer way back when. Okay, thanks. It looks like I've answered most of the questions that are listed here, and I thank everybody for participating. I see a couple people dropping off. So I'm going to go ahead and terminate, so it'll go to that page that has all the links. And if you need anything, drop us an email. Like I said, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and we'll be happy to chat with you again. Hope you all have a wonderful day.